And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
All right, welcome to Giants Sports Talk Live, where it's a post-game sports talk, or I should say. Glenn is not with us right now. He's still feeling a little bit under the weather. He was able to join us earlier, but he's still not feeling that well. So Lou is stepping in. What's up, Lou? Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks. The bullpen's always available.
Yeah. Going to the trusty righty. Absolutely. And Armand, he sums it up, folks. It's now 2-2. Toronto Blue Jays opening up another can. I mean, yesterday, what was it? 13-4. Today, it's 8-2. Gosh, dang. To be honest with you, Lou, when the series first started, I was surprised how slow that Toronto was coming out of the gate, because it just wasn't like them. They're a team play, and the last two games in Seattle, wow. I'm telling you, that was something. What did you think of the Blue Jays?
Well, I'll tell you one thing is the Blue Jays are a full team. All 9 guys in this thing can hit. They're sort of a machine. It took a while. But you also got to give credit to Seattle. What they did on the road, you know, good pitching did it. But, you know, I don't know if you noticed the last 2 nights, it's been the dreaded 3rd inning for Seattle. And Toronto has just come in. They got 5, and then they got 3. And then, you know, you got a guy, and I think this is what's weird, and I know I've spoken about this a few times, Eric, is there's always someone that you've never heard of that sort of makes a name for himself. And this kid batting 9th for Toronto got the big homer yesterday after a double, did the same thing today. And what I loved about the manager saying, hey, he was hitting it. He just wasn't getting any credit. That's why he's playing for me. Okay. And he's had the 2 biggest homers, which were really the big turnarounds in the game. And, you know, I can't remember his name, and he's done great, but that's what makes the playoffs, you know. And the thing about Toronto is when you have guys 8, 9 doing well, sort of starting the rally, you know, then you get your 1, 2, 3, boom, you know, before, you know, and that's what makes Toronto, they're 9 deep, you know. I mean, I would love for them to come back, because with the Dodgers, you know, no lead would be safe. Right. Especially with Toronto and the Dodgers, because both teams can hit, you know. But I thought tonight was sort of a big test. And really, this is now the 6th time where a team has lost 2 games at home and has come back on a 7-game series. Just amazing, because these places are rocking. They're loud. And these teams come in, which shows you how great they are. And, you know, it's 2-2 now, best out of 3. I love end where, you know, these people in Toronto that had game 6 that said, hey, we're not coming back. You know, they're not the real fans, but hey, I'm excited. And it's the early game tomorrow. So they're going to come right back. And, you know, tomorrow we have another doubleheader. What a better way to do Friday, and, you know, before happy hour and have a cocktail. We made the weekend, but you know, I'm excited about this series, because again, baseball in the playoffs, there's nothing like it. I'm not going to use the Giants logo, but it's so unpredictable. I mean, how can you predict it? And, you know, that's what makes it good. And I'm excited, you know, for tomorrow, you know, another early game. And, you know, who knows? If the Blue Jays win tomorrow, you know, don't be surprised if Seattle can come back and force game 7. But, you know, nothing better than if we can get something like that, because I think the Dodgers, I think they got Milwaukee's number, and I think it's over.
Yeah, so that one's good. That one. My God.
You know, but let's talk about this game here.
Yeah, let's do it. And I'll tell you, I want to start off with the guy that you mentioned. You talk about Jimenez, their second base. I remember him when he played with the Guardians last year. Really great defensive. He's got a hell of a glove. And his bat, right? He's not known as a power guy, but look what he's done. In 2 games in a row. Yesterday, big 2-run shot. Today, what's up, Dom? The Toronto Blue Jays went down quick, 1-0, first inning, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
First or second inning. And then next thing you know, they come up, boom, there's that 2-run shot. Next thing you know, the Toronto Blue Jays are ahead, and they never look back. And then you had,
I thought that was key. I always use my phrase, you know, Seattle takes the lead, and you can't give me a shutdown inning. And then, you know, the old shutdown inning, before you know it, once they got the 3-1 lead, the crowd was out, and you just sort of knew, This game was almost over in the third inning. Even with Scherzer, who got past, and we'll talk more about Scherzer, but you could just feel the whole entire momentum of Seattle was just dry. Because first of all, look who's doing the damage. It's like, who is this guy? And, I thought it was one of those things, and we bring it up all the time. In the playoffs, there's always someone you don't know, you least expect it, who's clutch, and that's why he's in the lineup.
There you go. Hey, look, we got a Blue Jays fan. Haven't seen you in here before. Again, YouTube is doing their weird thing where it's giving me the stupid @ symbol.
Is it Bo Must Die? Boo Must Die?
Boo Must Die. Boo. Okay, I know who that is. Boo Must Die. Okay, I've seen you before. What's up, dude? Yeah, I know. He's been a long time Blue Jays fan. As a matter of fact, he was hanging out in our channel last year during the offseason when there was a lot of talk about Blue Jays possibly getting Juan Soto. What's up, Boo? But yeah, hey, your Blue making it a whole new game. They are, and they've woken up. Those bats have woken up. The first 2 games, they look a little flat, and maybe it was a little bit of a hang up. They just got done with a huge emotional series against the New York Yankees, right? It's a divisional rival. They probably, they got a little bit up for it, which is great. But then, you have that huge crash afterwards. And I kind of think that's maybe what have happened.
And Eric, I think you bring up a great point. It was like a crash because you got to remember, Seattle had to go to Toronto. They just came off the 15 inning win. They had to fly to the East. They were having like mini parades. We knocked out the Yankees. They already thought they were in the World Series.
Yeah.
But again, in baseball, you got to show up because both things hit. And, I think I talked about this after game 2. Don't be surprised if Toronto gets back into it because they were reading their own articles, how great they were. Toronto, this is it. When you go on the road, you don't have all the people calling you. You're traveling as a team. And now you're seeing what Toronto's about. Everyone's coming through on hits. I mean, their lineup, there's a reason why they won the East, and you're starting to see it now, because it's not all about homers. They're the one team that can put 3 or 4 base hits in a row. Little ball, which I thought was about your guy, Jimenez. The guy hits a homer. Next time up, he puts a bunt down to put the guy in runners in scoring position.
He did. And what happened afterwards? He wound up eventually, base hit. And then the guy got the third, and then there was a wild pitch, and the guy scores.
So because of that, 2 runs scored. And that's a guy playing for the team, not himself. Because, if you hit a homer your first time at bat, you had the big, so you sort of have the big shoulder. Yeah, that's right. I'm sort of a badass. No, he sacrificed himself, best for the team, and 2 more runs came because of that. That's what it's all about. Absolutely.
Fuji Simeon donates $2, says, tell me more about Giant Scooble trade packages. Lou, I don't know if you heard the news. We'll get into that a little bit later. I'm going to finish talking about this.
I thought of that, and I was going to text you, but you know what? For what I want to do, I think the Giants fans will be upset, and they won't like me, but I'm Mr. Salty for a reason. I'm trying to make sense, and we'll talk more about that.
That sounds good. All right, and here's another big factor in this game. Last night, I was talking about it. Max Scherzer was taking the ball for the Toronto Blue Jays. And you brought up the stats, and then I brought him up later in the show, and I'm like, this guy is going to get shelled. And what does he do? He goes out there for 5 2/3 and does a pretty damn good job. He walked quite a few. I think, if I'm not mistaken, his final line, what does he have? 5 2/3, only gave up 3 hits, 2 earned. He walked 4, struck out 5, so it wasn't exactly clean, but you know what he did? He limited the amount of runs coming across the plate.
Yeah, I thought, tell you the truth, Toronto's in it because of 2 guys that I think have pitched a total, because of all the injuries, 16 innings. Beaver came off the DL. I'm saying in the last 2 years. Right. Scherzer, he's been injured. So it tells you when you have a pitcher, now, again, in the World Series, he could be shellacked, but let's just talk about today's game. I thought getting through the first inning, giving up the home run, and he bounced back. See that, you would have thought he would at least give you 4. You know what I mean? And it always helps when you're pitching on the road when the team behind you can give you a run and give you the lead. But I thought, he pitched good. He did just enough. And, hell, the guy was so excited that he got through 5 innings. So this way he gets the win. I don't know the last time he got a win. And that's something where, again, the thing about Toronto, we talked about their lineup. This is a whole team effort, and I think if the Giants in 10, 12, and 14 put down their egos, they did whatever it takes to win. That's sort of what Toronto's doing. Offensively, defensively. Now, the thing about Toronto that does scare me is, we got Gosman, who's going to be pitching tomorrow.
Right.
Now, I know the other night you and Glenn were upset that you took him out too early, but maybe there's reasons because of the only one day off and back-to-back games that maybe we didn't think of. But, hopefully tomorrow he can come out and be strong because, I want, for Gosman being a former Giant, it's tough. But I think the one thing that Toronto has sort of going against them is they don't have as good a starting pitching as Seattle. But Seattle doesn't have as good at hitting and Toronto. And that's what makes this series so unique.
And I tell you, Lou, I mean, I didn't see this coming with Luis Castillo, 2 1/3, and he got ran out of the game. Boy, that guy did not step up when the lights are the brightest. You got to be able to do that in the postseason now. And that's what scares me a little bit to go to the Dodgers is their starting rotation is hiding the vulnerability of their bullpen because they're going out there and just you had Blake Snell, who could have easily had a complete game. You had Yamamoto with a complete game. And now you've got Glasnow, who had a pretty good damn game, another good game. So to that effect, Blue Jays, they're starting to get Max Scherzer didn't expect that. It's going to be interesting to see what Gosman does again in Toronto. So maybe there's a little familiarity. But it's definitely going to go back to Toronto. And it's going to be interesting to see how this.
How it comes out. But Eric, I'm going to tell you something that maybe we forgot. Yesterday's pitcher and today's pitcher pitched in that 15-inning game.
Yeah.
And these were their first starts after. So we might not know the effect of a starter and pitching, again, it might not be as many pitches, but it's a very high leverage thing. Now your first start, it takes a while. Maybe you're not on your full rest because, that 15-inning game might have taken a lot of out that, and that's what was so incredible because remember, the only starter that didn't have any problems was the guy that pitched game 1. And that's because everybody else pitched 2 days before. So, that game was Wednesday. Now I'm just saying, he was so good, Castillo. He didn't have it tonight. And maybe because of that start where I think he pitched 2 1/3 innings, might come back to haunt him. But again, on that game, 15 innings, you got to do whatever it is because there is no tomorrow. If you don't win that, it doesn't matter. But I think, now these starts are all coming back with Seattle. So, it's just one of those things. I just wanted to bring that up from that 15-inning game.
Right. And, and I thought that was going to play an effect in Toronto, but it didn't. But now maybe we're starting to see it now. I don't know. But I'll tell you, Toronto Blue Jays bats have shown up. And they're just, my God, 13 runs yesterday, 8 runs today. They're just, and then Vladdy, of course, hits another nuke today. Oh my God.
Oppo too. Oppo again.
Yep. Gosh, dang. Let's take a look at the box score real quick as far as, they had 11 hits. Yesterday they had 18. Springer had a hit. Lucas had a hit. Guerrero had 2 hits. Kirk had no hits. Varsho, no hits. Clement, 2 hits. Barger had a hit. And then the Kiner Falefa and then Jimenez, 8 and 9. They combined for 4 hits, 2 and 2 apiece. And over here for Seattle, 3 of the 5 hits came from one guy, Josh Naylor. Nobody was hitting for Seattle. So look, Seattle and this is the thing, man. You start slumping at the wrong time. We've said this a million times. You slump at the wrong time, man. You could wind up ending your season, man, dude. But this is what makes the playoffs so fun because it's like, who is going to step up? Who is going to fall by the wayside? Which manager is going to make the right moves? It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's. It's so funny because I'm sort of happy. Yeah, hockey's starting now, and NBA's
Basketball's getting ready too.
preseason, but
Yeah.
it's all about baseball right now. You know, football can sort of wait, especially since my Arizona Wildcats suck, but it happens. But right now it's all about baseball, you know, and I'm super, super excited. Like tomorrow, hey, we get 2 games. I know one,
Yes.
you know, but I think Milwaukee might have a little pride. Maybe they can come back to force game 5. You know,
Yeah.
you know, at least I'm hoping that.
Well, it's not going to be easy because if I'm
No.
not mistaken, there's going to be one Shohei Ohtani. Let me look at the.
But again, Ohtani's going to pitch 3 or 4 innings. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's up to 6 yet, but still, you know, that's just me. You know, always hoping for the best.
But this is the thing that the Dodgers are doing. They're using all their bullets in the postseason.
Yeah.
So we
and they got it. And you know, one thing too, it's not like Milwaukee's pitched bad. You got to give, you know, Dodgers have pitched really, really good, and they're doing just enough to win. You know, and they're, you know, it's funny with them too, is they're doing sort of small ball too. They're not winning like with 3 homers. You know, they're very spread out. They're getting key hits. And, you know, I just, you know, again, I unfortunately didn't get a chance to see your post game for the earlier one, you know, because Glenn was on. But I think, you know, tonight, good definition. And, you know, we at least have 2 more games. Well, at least 3 more games. 1 more tomorrow with the Dodgers and then 2 here. And, you know, I'm excited. I mean, you know, it'll be a lot of character because Seattle's done so much and they're sort of flat now. Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, we'll see what type of team they have who shows up tomorrow, because let me tell you something. If they lose tomorrow, it's going to be very tough for them to win both games in Toronto again. You know, it's hard. It's hard enough. So I think tomorrow's sort of, you know, it's going to be a great game to begin with.
Oh,
but there is something about Toronto now. You know what I mean?
There is.
It's I thought they were see it. The confidence.
Yeah, they have it.
Yeah, and I think they were down 2-0, and I saw part of the thing. Part of the thing is they weren't even worried. They're down 2-0 and they're on the road. They were just here having fun. You know, you see the way Guerrero was walking in. You know, he didn't care. It's like, dude, it's just another game. And you know, that's where sort of like the Dodgers, they're just so confident in themselves. So you know, they're just telling the pitchers, "Hey, do me a favor, give us 6." Get it within 3 runs or less. We'll take care of the rest.
Yep. And that's exactly, it's that confidence, right?
Yep.
If you have that mental toughness, it pays dividends. And look what it's done for Toronto. Look at their manager, right? He exudes confidence. He believes in his guys. He doesn't, the guy's a leader. There's no doubt about it. Look at Fuji Simeon donates $2. He says, Lou, is there still hope for our SI Wildcats?
No, there's not. 54-0 to Reardon. I know Reardon's good, but it's just getting ridiculous. The sports at SI have just really dropped. You know, when I went there, we never lost to Reardon or Sacred Heart in anything, including the females. We dominated them too for the city, but it's just falling apart. It's sad. You know, SI used to be really good, and I don't want to hear, oh, yeah, we have a good women's team. No, SI College Prep used to be known for their sports, and unfortunately, we're being dominated. And, you know, that's just me. That's why they don't get any more alumni checks. I'd rather spend it, you know, going out with Eric to a Giants game or something.
Hey! Woo! Yeah, buddy. Man, that was good damn times. Both times we went, they won too, Glenn. Or Lou. I mean, come on. I mean, and that second one, we saw that moonshot. Remember?
The moonshot. We kept saying it was Devers' first time where he actually got watered, and we say, is he ever going to actually pull a homer? And then the next one, it was just a launch.
It was just, and I'll never forget. I was just like, oh my God.
And then, of course, you know, meeting the great Marty Lurie. You know, we have, in case anyone can see, we have a great photo of.
Hold on, let me see.
Of Abraham, Eric, and Marty, and myself, and it was just, you know, it was a fun time, good time.
It was. Oh, I gotta go.
That's what it's all about.
Gosh, dang it, I don't have it in here.
Dang it.
I'm gonna have to find it. I'll find it a little bit later. But no, it was great. It was awesome. Just good. I tell you, when you could go to a baseball game with some good friends and watch some fun baseball, it's so much fun.
I think the key when you go to a ball game, what makes it so great live, like, you know, I did not go to Sutter this year, but I know you went to a couple games and the Giants played the A's. It's who you go with, the great baseball stories, the food, the food you get, the atmosphere, and then if your team wins, it's just like an added cherry on top. But you make it memorable. I mean,
exactly.
For me, over the
That's
last
what
probably,
it's about.
for the last 4 years, Giant games, it's sort of weird. I go Friday nights, I go occasionally Saturdays, but Tuesday nights have always been sort of the games that have been phenomenal. Unbelievable.
Yes.
I was at a game where the Giants were down, I think it was 8-1 in the second inning. They came back when Yaz hit a grand slam in the bottom of the eighth.
You were at that one?
On a Tuesday. The following year, they were down 6-0 in the eighth, came back. So it's, again, what's so great about baseball, it's so unpredictable. You know how it is, Eric. Oh, my God. Like tonight, Scherzer's pitching. Bet the over. He's going to get shellacked. And the complete opposite happens. And baseball that's what makes it so beautiful, because you never know what to do, and you got to watch it.
And you got to watch it.
Takes it to another level. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. I'm downloading some photos here. Oh, look at this.
Philip, you were at that game? Yeah, that was a Tuesday night game. Unbelievable.
Hey, what's up, Philip? What's up, Philip? Hey, by the way, I got to show you this. We were just talking about Dan Schneider, right? Oh, I'm sorry, John Schneider, the manager.
Yeah.
Look what he did. Kept the game ball when he made the Max Scherzer pitching change in case Max wants to keep it on his mantle one day. How about that? Right? Looking out for his guy. He went out there, had a hell of a game. That may be his.
And he had no choice.
Right? He had no choice.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's like, hey, this might be his last, big moment on the mound. So look at that. Yeah. He keeps the ball and gives it to Max. That's freaking awesome.
And I know Max has been through this before, but if you saw him when he got the last out of the fifth inning where he knew he was going to qualify for a win, dude, he was so fired up.
He was.
You don't know. He might not be on the World Series roster. You just don't know. This could be his final thing, but, hey, great pitcher. Definitely a Hall of Famer. And it was great to see, because when you see that, it's not about him. It's the little kid that comes out like, yeah, I got a playoff win on the road.
Yes.
And that's really what baseball is about. Yeah.
Right. It's these grown men acting like kids out there. I mean, it's just awesome. It's awesome. But let's see what we got here real quick. Here we go. I grew up on downtown side of San Francisco. I'm Irish, so that side of the city is Sacred Heart. Reardon, meh. He says meh. For Reardon.
So, Eric, the one thing I want to say is when I was a sophomore in high school, Sacred Heart, where Lowe's goes to school, was all boys. And across the street, they had a girls' school called Cathedral. So it's, Cathedral of, not Cathedral Grammar School, but Cathedral for girls. So I went to an all-boys school, SI, and then Reardon was all boys. So what was so great is I actually dated a girl that went to Cathedral, Sacred Heart's turf. And, I drove a decent car. So when I went there, they'd all say, oh, yeah, there's the cherry. And I go, guys, I'm dating your hottest girl here, and we're kicking your ass in sports. It's good to be the king. And I would just drive away. That's just being high school where, you sort of have your ego there. So, but hey, I have a lot of friends from Sacred Heart, played just really good guys. If I would have had my choice again, I probably would have gone to Sacred Heart, but, it was sort of pressure. I had brothers that went to SI, and, it's one of those things. But hey, never look back on the past. Am I right, Eric? Just strive forward. There you go. And we're lucky what we have.
You got to focus on what you got right before you and in the future. There's no doubt about it. What do we got here? Jeremiah. I haven't seen you in here before, Jeremiah. Hey, I love the kitty. Welcome to the fraternity we call Giant Sports Talk Live. All I know is that Mariners fans should be aware that Astros will be healthy next year, and your chance at the World Series is disappearing right before your eyes. Look at this. We got Astro fans popping in, talking some shade against the Mariners fans. How about that?
It's not over yet. Not
over yet. That is
Seattle
true.
comes back tomorrow.
Don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
And the way these baseball playoffs are going, until the final out of the game that eliminates you, don't be surprised about anything.
Yep, exactly. Fuji, another $2. Just saying, Lou But just saying, Lou, Reardon, number one, ever since we went co-ed.
Reardon's dominating. And then I said this the other night with Eric. The principal of Reardon, his name is Tim Reardon. So Mr. Reardon runs Reardon. Sort of crazy thing. Yeah.
No relation, I'm guessing, right?
No relation. Timmy Reardon went to SI, but now he's the principal and author. So, but no, good guy, and he's turned that program around. So hopefully SI can turn their future around. It's just, right now we're getting bombarded. So it happens.
Gotcha.
Yep.
It does. Real quick, let's kind of summarize on this.
Yeah.
Dodgers. My gosh, man. They're pitching. I'm telling you, their pitching has just been unbelievable. Remember, their weakness is the bullpen, other than Roki Sasaki. All the other guys, they have a chance to just give it away. The damn starting pitching, man. You got a guy that almost went to a complete game in Blake Snell.
Yeah.
Then you got Yamamoto, who has a complete game.
Yeah.
And then, like I said today, you had Glasnow go fairly deep, and they were able to patch it together all the way to Roki. And Roki, I'm telling you, he's just the force coming out of that.
It was filthy.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Milwaukee had chances today.
They
were 1 for 7 in runners scoring position. This whole series, they have not been able to get the big hit. And they also wasted a really good performance by the Miz. I mean, he was dominating again.
Yes.
And, I think the other thing, too, is it's sort of crazy, but these games, some teams are so close, but one little error makes the difference. And it's not too often that you see a pitcher make an error, but that was sort of the whole game right there. Like, what are you doing? First and third, and you're trying to pick off, the ball's not there. So a run scores. So, but these little errors get magnified so much, because today I really thought Milwaukee was going to be able to win it. They got the early lead, they got there, but they just couldn't get the big hit. 1 for 7, and you got 5 walks from the other team. They played good, but in these games that are close, one little mistake, I mean, it just boils over. So, but you know what? The Dodgers play like champions. You got to knock them out. You're going to give them an extra out. You're going to do anything. You're going to feel for it.
And Glasnow almost did that. He did, but he got away with it. Remember, he tried to do the pickoff throw at second base. It was only 1 out.
They were the only 2 errors.
Field, right?
Only 2 errors of the game. Both starting, both pitchers.
Right. And then you got I can't remember who advanced to was it Barger? I think it was Barger advanced to third base. And then Max Muncy out there turns a fantastic play, fields it and spins around, throws a perfect strike to freaking Smith, gets the guy running a home. And look, that could have put the Mariners up. Now, would that have changed the outcome? Who knows?
Yeah.
But it was great defense, the pitching and defense by the Dodgers. And you said it, they weren't killing the ball today.
No.
They were just getting the bat on the ball, and they just were able to manufacture some runs. And they got, it was enough.
And I think one of the things about these playoffs is everyone beside Giants baseball know how good Muncy is. Because, he bats about 680 against the Giants. He always gets like 2 homers every series. But it's amazing because this guy just has clutch written all over him. And he's not really known for his defense, but he makes some incredible plays. And then, he was involved the other night with that, where it should have been a grand slam, missed by a foot, that crazy double play.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah. I think the other thing is everything is sort of, let's talk about this. The Dodgers haven't got any breaks. They didn't get any breaks on that crazy 8-6-2 double play that we don't think we'll ever see again. They're not getting any breaks in game 1. They sort of had the late rally, but they're still winning, And as Glenn said the other night, I think this now makes them 13-1 in their last 14 games.
Yeah,
they're going to be a tough out because everything is going against them. And that's why I sort of hope it's Toronto, because Toronto can sort of battle with them offensively, and they can maybe get to their bullpen, and maybe it makes it more like a clean fight. So
right. All right. There's a couple of chats I want to get to here real quick. First one, Toronto. Last night I asked them, I was like, You're a Blue Jays fan. I was like, how do you feel about Max Scherzer? Oh, it was hilarious. He said he's terrible. I don't know if he's going to do anything. But at the very end, he goes, he's capable. I'm like, man, you just like dogged on him for like three straight statements. But then he goes, he's capable. I was
so
like,
this way you can go both ways. I got it.
So he's coming in and says, my God, Eric, he is capable. That's great. Hey, I'm glad you remember that. That's fantastic. Just Minks, he mentions the wheel play. Remember the defense, that wheel play against Philly? Fantastic. Talk about perfectly executed. And they came up with that play on the mound. You know, when they came and had that mound, I can't remember if there was a pitching change.
Great thing is this way the defense doesn't know what you're doing. You're not doing the signals or anything. So
right.
And then, Eric, I have a question because everybody in our chat, throughout the year talks about how great Chapman is. Now, I know Chapman makes $26 million. What do you think Muncy makes? Maybe like 17, 18?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
So who would you rather have? Because Muncy's good defensively and he can hit.
You know what?
He's solid player.
Good.
He can hit the clutch.
We could say that. He's a solid all-around player, right? Like for Chapman, right? His bat's okay, but his defense is just out of this world, right?
And the great thing about Muncy is he's even better because of the people he has around him.
That does help.
One of the things we talk about Chapman is we have him batting third or fourth. Well, he's not that great offensively, so it shows you his holes. With Muncy, he'll bat fifth, seventh, eighth. Right. And there's no pressure, but he still shows up in pressure situations.
Right.
So that's why we keep talking. The Giants sort of need one more stud just to help the lineup,
Yes. Speaking about Muncy, I was at the game when Muncy got hit in the head. That was the Kershaw. I had scored 7 runs against Kershaw. Well, not all of them against Kershaw. I think it was 4 against Kershaw. But freaking Webb wind up shitting the bed that game, and they wind up losing. They could have gone ahead on that game, by the way. To your point, Lou. Yes, if the Giants could go get another guy in there to protect the rest of the lineup, because you got Devers in there, and you don't need more swing and miss, swinging for the fences guy. You need that contact guy, right? That's what you're going to need to do, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what Buster Posey does here. Armand, look, $14.5 million club option. So they could either decide to pay the 10 and keep him, or
I just wanted to bring up that stat just because I know Muncy, he bats like 500 against the Giants. Giants always seem to have one or two guys that just dominate them. So, look what you could have done. You get someone like Muncy where he's half of what Chapman is. That's all I'm saying. Not a big deal. But the other thing, too, is I think Buster, if he could have his wish, he would love a team like Toronto, a team that puts the ball in play. One of the things I talked about, Eric, in the green room is I think out of how many runs they have? 20 runs, 13 of them were hits with 2 strikes. Let me repeat that. 20 of the runs in the last 2 days,
incredible.
13 of them have been with 2 strikes. Both of the homers by the kid batting ninth that we talked about had 2-strike hits. That's something that the Giants sort of lack, where it gets 2-2, you're almost expecting a strikeout. Where Toronto, it's no problem. They have a better batting average with 2 strikes. Those are the type of players that Buster needs. Guys that aren't worried about the count, that are going to do whatever it takes, but most importantly, make contact. Because as you say, Eric, you make contact, you put the ball in play. Ask Philadelphia what happens. Just put the ball in play to the pitcher, and they win it. Anything can happen.
Yep.
Put the pressure on the defense.
And here's another thing. This is a good segue. Fuji talking about Tariq Skubal. And I know you got some ideas here. Let's take a look. John Heyman. I saw this on SNY out of New York. Here we go. This is again from John Heyman. To sign superstar pitcher Tariq Skubal, Tigers would have to close what's likely the biggest gap in negotiating history. And of course, trading a superb player going into free agency year isn't a great option. In other words, If you want to trade for him, you're going to have to pay a lot, and it's a rent. This is the word, a $250 million gap. That's a huge difference. And look, there is no way the Tigers are going to drop that much money on signing Tariq. So here we go. And SNY was saying he's going to be on Tariq Skubal. Would Buster Posey, right? He loves pitching, and Tariq Skubal is special. He is special. This is a guy that's going to win another Cy Young, right? So, what say you, Lou? Would you trade for Tariq Skubal for a 1-year rental? Now, that being said, there's a chance that the whole hell of a lot of money if they wanted to. San Francisco is a great place to pitch, and the Giants got the money to pay him if they want to. Would you make a trade to try to get Tariq for 1 year? That's all. I mean, that's all that's guaranteed. Would you trade for 1 year?
Well, I think you would have to have a guarantee. In other words, if you make the trade, a contract also has to come, because first of all, he's sort of how Ohtani was a couple of years ago. He was sort of a generation player. This guy's even a level, because he's a lefty, a little bit bigger, better than Schemes.
Yes.
So
better than Schemes.
He's one of these guys. I personally, if the Giants were to say, hey, we'll give you an 8-year deal, right? $350 million, but you're going to have to give up players. So here's my thing. Again, it's only a pitcher, but you're going to have to, trade some of your guys. So with me, what I was told is they also want to get rid of another contract. So you got to go to Detroit and say, okay, who else on that team has a big contract that they want to get rid of?
Baez?
So here's my thing. You take Baez, right? You sign him, and you trade Webb, Adames.
Whoa!
And Eldridge.
Oh, I don't think you. Oh, okay, I think
so, because you got to remember, he's that good. And the thing is, you're gonna have to take Baez off. So you got Adames, so it can sort of help each other out.
Okay.
And you get rid of Adames's contract for there. You only have Baez for 2 more years. Webb, you're getting the break, but you only have him for 3 more years. And he's under. That's why they're willing to take it. And then Eldridge is still a question mark, guys. Okay?
You know what I think? I'm going to go this way, Lou.
Yeah.
Because Detroit's not going to want to take on Adames's contract, because you're trying to get rid of Baez, so they're going to take it on. So this is what I was thinking. I was thinking, if you want to pick up Baez's contract, I didn't even think of that. Pick up Baez's contract, because the Giants got money. So put him over at second base. So now you got Chapman, Adames, Baez, and then Devers at first. That's okay. I'm okay with that, because Baez has kind of found his swing again. It's not fantastic. Correct. It's not fantastic, but that's not so bad. But you trade Landon Roop, Bryce Eldridge, and maybe even Elliot Ramos. All those guys are cheap. All of them don't cost you nothing, and they're all pretty damn good, because that's what Detroit wants to do. They want to move off the money.
I agree there, but you got to give them. So that's why, the one thing too is you got to give them a major league arm. You're getting the best arm. You got to get somebody on the major league roster who's been successful.
Here's the thing, because
what about Ray? Okay,
but he's still
the money,
maybe
because Webb. The only reason why I threw Webb out is Webb's only like 18, 19 million. You see what I mean?
No, but
and
that's the thing.
That's
why the Giants want to keep him, because the guy he might win a Gold Glove too, and he's going to get Cy Young consideration. I tell you what, though, because it's a 1 year, because that deal has nothing to do with the.
I completely agree, but you got to make sure again, who's his agent?
Scott Boras.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Now,
So
here's the thing.
would Scott even make a trade without getting a guarantee?
And here we go. Armand, I see what Armand's saying, that Boras likes his guys to go to free agency. They don't like to negotiate or not do like an extension. But what were the Giants able to do with Scott Boras concerning a player on the San Francisco Giants? They were able to extend a Scott Boras client without having them go to free agency. They were able to do that with Matt Chapman. So there's history there. If Buster Posey goes to Scott Boras and says, we will pay this guy 300, like you said, you say 350 million, something like that.
Maybe 4. But also, isn't there a former guy who used to work with Farhan in charge of Detroit? Isn't there somebody, the gentleman?
Their Pobo was
it was
Scott
Detroit
Harris.
And Seattle went to
Scott Harris. Yeah. So yes, I think, and if you go to Scott Boras and you say this is how much we're going to pay him, again, it's up to Scooble. If Scooble, hey, that's a lot of damn money. I'm getting my payday, and I get to go pitch in a pitcher's ballpark.
Correct.
Man, dude, I'm telling you, there could. And look, and here's another thing: the Giants got some young guys coming up. You got that Josar Gonzalez, supposed to be a phenom. He'll be coming up in the club soon. The kid that they're supposed to be getting this offseason. I can't remember I always forget his name. Fernandez, I think is his last name. I can't remember. The guy is supposed to be even better than Josar, and the Giants are lined up to sign him. So even during his contract, there's going to be guys coming out that could make this club a whole hell of a lot better. And we got Buster Posey, who loves pitching and defense. And what does Baez? The defense, and Scooble provides you the pitching. Man, Lou, I didn't even think about the Javi Baez, and that would be absolutely huge. If the Giants could pull off,
because you get another bat, you get another bat to cover for Adames, and people forget how good Baez was as a Cub. I'm not saying he got greedy, he became a free agent. You got to remember, when he comes here, he's only got 2 years left. He's got to show up because his next contract is going to be his last. Sort of how Adames did so well in Milwaukee. So I don't know. I mean, again, there'll be other teams. I mean, it's not too often. Probably a guy like him might be like a Clemens, or I'm trying to think who went to the Yankees or Toronto, or Dave Stewart. I mean, these guys don't come around like every 10 years. Guys that are proven.
Yes.
Healthy. And you got to remember, the one thing about Scooble is he's built for length. He's sort of a little bit stronger than Mad Bum. He's a little bit more wiser. Yeah.
He's Logan Webb what I mean by the durability. He's going to go out there and throw you 200 innings.
Easy. And
he's my gosh.
So, and again, to knock out the Dodgers, you need a lefty. That's why you got to think like that.
Right.
So
either Framber, Ranger Suarez, or if you make a trade for Scooble. I mean, my gosh, that would just be.
And boy, wouldn't the Giants be the talk?
They would be. Oh my gosh, Lou, you'd be selling your tickets for a pretty penny, man.
Yeah,
my gosh, man.
But again, I know everyone gets upset, but that's why you have guys like Eldridge, in case you get once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm sorry, guys, but it's this guy. In 5 years, we might want to say, oh, my God, because we kept out. And I'm not saying, again, it probably is not going to happen, but we can dream. But it's not too often. You got a guy who we complain about Webb because I don't think he's an ace. He's a solid number 2. This guy's an ace.
This guy
is probably one of the top 3 pitchers in both leagues. And it's not too often you even get an opportunity to get someone like that. And he'll love pitching in our ballpark because it's a pitcher's ballpark. Detroit's not.
No,
Detroit's
it's not.
More like a launching pad. So if you thought he was good in Detroit, oh my God, at our ballpark, I mean, it'll be like Bob Gibson pitching, 2 runs or less. So.
And look, he will be can you imagine? I can see the promotion. You got 2 big lefties. You got Devers with the bat, Scooble with the arm. I mean, my God, It's getting me all excited now. Now I got ideas of what I want to do for some hype videos.
But you want someone, you got to give up something. So
you're going to have to give up something. And Eldridge is going to have to be part of that.
Yeah.
He's just going to have to. But we're talking about Tariq Skubal, though. Right. We're not talking about we're not talking about a nobody.
Not like a Jack Flaherty or something. I mean, even when you say the name, it gains respect. Now, again,
right.
There's one problem. There's 25 other teams that want a guy like Skubal.
Right. And here's the thing. And why wouldn't the Detroit Tigers do this? Because you either trade him and get the world, or you hold on to him and then he walks in free agency because you're not going to pay the money anyways. So you just
just like the Giants at the trade deadline.
Yes,
it cost us.
Exactly. It cost us with Rodon, and it cost us with Alex Cobb. It cost us even with Mad Bum in 2019.
And one thing is Aaron's now. I like his new slogan. Aaron, by the way, how was Earth, Wind, and Fire last night? I heard you were there. We have spies everywhere. Hopefully Earth, Wind, and Fire did it. He went and saw Earth, Wind, and Fire in concert.
Oh, no kidding. Look at it.
So, but I like his new slogan. Could you imagine? I like it. That's a good one.
Oh, my gosh, man. Wow. That would be something. 20s, that's great. Aaron, not too recently, he went and saw Oasis over there in the Rose Bowl, too.
Nice.
Did he send you cookies yet?
No, I've lost about 20 pounds. I need cookies to get back to my winter weight.
Come on, Aaron. Come on. Hey, real quick. I'm going to start showing some pictures here. This is from Mark, our buddy from New York, big Mets fan. Look at this. Look at this. That looks like Keith Hernandez. Is that what that looks like here?
That's 86 ball.
Yeah, that's
probably one of the greatest. That's probably one of the greatest playoffs of all time.
Exactly. I can't read. Look, hey, Mark, are you out there?
Yeah, it does look like Keith Hernandez on the
Mark.
top.
It looks like Keith Hernandez, but I can't read anybody else's, man.
Is that what on the right? Is it Bud Black? No.
Bill
Buckner. Bill Buckner.
Is that Bill Buckner? No, because is it?
Against, you remember the Mets beat him with the roller? That looks like Bill Buckner.
No, I thought.
I don't know. I don't know above.
I thought it was.
Unless that's Mark signed his own ball and Bill Buckner did below.
So it's the 86. So it's everybody is on that ball, according to Mark. Mark, who's on the right? Mookie. That's the guy who hit it.
The guy that hit it and then Buckner on the bottom. I got it. Yeah, Mookie.
Mookie and Buckner. Wow, that's pretty damn cool. Yeah, I like that one.
It's so funny. You remember certain playoffs like 2 days ago was the date of the Chicago Cubs, and I think back then they were the Miami Marlins playoff game with what was the kid's name down left field, Berkman or whatever, the fly ball where he picked it out when Alou tried to catch it, and then the
guy
started with a B, Berkman or whatever.
Chad,
who was the guy for the Cubs? Who
the guy
bombarded.
He was a huge Cubs fan, and he was like exiled from Bartman.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bartman. Look at everything.
Thank you. I knew it started with a B. Thank you. Yeah. So they showed that, but people forget that they made 2 errors that inning. It was they made 2 error innings, and then in the 8th inning, they still led the game, and they gave up 6 runs. And if you're going to blame anybody, that was Dusty again. That's the one thing Dusty Baker, great guy, but, he blew that with the Cubs. He blew when the Reds led 2-0 over the Giants. He blew the World Series when we had it. And the World Series he did finally win. He had Houston. I mean, me and Eric could have ran that team and won. Hell, we were cheating half the time. So let's just remember
enjoyed that documentary. I think you were talking about that too, weren't you, Lou?
Yeah.
The John Candy documentary?
John Candy. Yeah, amazing.
I Like Me or something like that, or something. It wasn't
Like
something
Me.
to that. Like Me. That's what it was. Here, look at this ball. Jerry Koosman on the left, 1969 World Series. And then on the right,
the amazing Mets.
Yep.
The amazing Mets. People forget about Jerry Koosman. Do you know who also pitched with Jerry Koosman?
Was it Nolan Ryan? He was part of that team.
Tom Seaver.
Tom Seaver.
Nolan Ryan. Yep. Yeah. Jerry Koosman.
I can't remember. There was another one too.
There was. Yeah, there were 4 big ones. But yeah,
Remember what it
Nolan
was.
Ryan, people forget. What? Nolan Ryan? Yeah, that's where Nolan Ryan started. Tom Seaver was there, the magnificent Mets, who, by the way, the year before in 68, I believe they lost 102 games. They were like 102
yes.
and 60.
Right. Not good. Not
No.
good at all.
And then
Hold
they
on,
come back and they win the next year.
All right, here's another one. He gave us some
Jesse
baseball.
Orozco was the other signature.
That's what okay.
Again,
Oh, look.
Orozco was involved in one of the that game. People forget that the Houston Astros and the Milwaukee Brewers back then were in the National League. I mean, I'm sorry, Milwaukee was in the American League. Houston was in the National League. But that Houston New York Mets game was probably, they say, the number 1 or 2 baseball playoff game of all time. It went extra innings. It was so dramatic. And the other people forget, Houston that year beat the Giants. Giants finished in second. And they had the one guy that threw the sandpaper or whatever. The Giants actually lost the division. They got no hit at the Astrodome. But still, great series. 86, and they have a 30-30 on it. So if you get a chance,
I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Check this out. Look at the 49 cents.
49 cents. Is
this
all 1986?
I think so, right?
Because I don't even know if Topps makes it anymore. Does Topps make baseball cards anymore?
Yeah, they still do. It's not like they were in the past. I'm trying to.
Oh, and you know what's funny, Eric? This was all 1986, right?
I believe so. Yep.
So 87 is when the Giants lost to the Cardinals.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
81 Topps cello box.
81.
Wow.
Crazy.
All right. Let me see what else we got in here. He sent a bunch of pictures. I'm just picking up a few. Oh, look at. Oh, this is a good one. 30 cents. Oh my gosh. And look who's on the top. Let me bring it. There we go. Thurman Munson.
Horrible loss.
I know.
Horrible loss. Yeah. And I think he was flying the plane himself.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Him and Holiday was in the same way.
Yeah.
Thurman, and look at that. You get 1 stick bubble gum.
Yeah, the bubble gum was always big. The only time it didn't contain the bubble gum is, I don't know if you remember, but Raisin Bran also did cards.
Yeah, that's right.
In the thing.
Oh
yeah,
my
but no wax packs. Or maybe the wax pack wasn't around. Well, yeah, the wax pack was early, but those were the see-through ones. Yes, 1979.
My God. Okay, you got it. Mark, what is this? That was Thurman's final card, by the way. 1979. That was his final baseball card. Boo Must I said it was Post, not Raisin Bran.
No, it's Post Raisin Bran.
Post Raisin
The Raisin Bran by Post.
Yeah. There you go.
Sorry.
Okay, Mark, what is that? That's a lot of baseball cards.
Yeah, that's his collection in the foil.
He's got them in the. Yep. You gotta let us know. That is something.
Awesome.
That's a lot of baseball cards.
Mother's Cookies did have them too. Yeah, correct.
Kellogg's
sets 70 to 84.
1970 to 1984. Wow. Kellogg's. Well, there you go. Kellogg's got into it too. It's awesome stuff, man. This is what I love.
You know what's funny is baseball cards have been around forever. I don't remember football cards growing up. Did you?
No. They weren't. It was always.
And I don't think hockey had them. It was just all baseball.
Yes.
It was just they sort of had the market. I mean, that's how big it was. Where, baseball was so big because it was during the summer. I mean, the trading cards, or where you put the card up and it would flip, and if it landed on another card, you won it. The spokes of bikes and baseball cards were big. It was just one of those things. It was part of growing up. Unfortunately, this generation sort of misses out.
God, we used to have so much fun, man. We'd get the Beckett every month to see what's the prices on these cards. And dude, all these guys would be hyping up Gary Sheffield. I remember this when I was like, Gary Sheffield was a guy you got to get. Ken Griffey Jr., Todd Zeal. Todd Zeal was a guy that everybody, Greg Jeffries was another
Greg
guy.
Jeffries, who went to Sarah, by the way, played
They
for
said
the
this guy
Mets.
was going to be huge. Who is that? The Yankee. He was a slugger, and they thought he was the next coming of Mickey Mantle. What the hell was his name? I cannot remember. I can't remember that Yankees guy. But my God, I mean, he was the next big thing. Who was the other ones?
So it
that
wasn't
people
like
were
Chris
collecting.
Chambliss.
I was just
trying to think it was a big hitter.
Kevin Moss. That's who it was.
Oh, Kevin Moss.
Kevin Moss. Thank you, Mark. They said he was going to be like the next Mickey Mantle. Oh my gosh, dude. Good memories right here. Good damn memories. Sticker books in the 80s. Yep. I remember the sticker books. Yep. Try to get them perfectly in there, man.
It was so hard once you took it out, putting it back in. It never just went perfect.
No.
You know.
Oh. Memory lane on this. Ben McDonald. That was another guy. Another guy that he was huge on. Yep. Ben McDonald. People were
hear about all
him.
these guys, but most of them just don't make it.
Nope. Jim Abbott. Yep. Val Ramos. Fuji, another $2. Lou.
Yep.
Now us Gen Z folk have or collect NFTs instead. I still don't know what the hell that's all about.
Yeah. What is an NFT?
Oh, I explain here. Let me Google it. I don't know enough about it to even start speaking on it, man.
Is that even like a type of baseball card?
I think it has to do with technology and stuff. What is an NFT? It's a non-fungible token. Is a unique identifier that is recorded on a blockchain and is used to certify ownership and authenticity.
Never heard of it. I mean, getting the
It
card
could be,
was
it could be digital,
thing.
such as a piece of art, music, or a video, or physical, such as a concert ticket or real estate title. Unlike cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which are fungible, meaning every unit is identical and interchangeable, each NFT is unique and has distinct properties. Well, there you go.
Hey, Eric, I'm sending you a photo.
All right.
So last year, we get a few celebrities when we do the Masters, so we've had a couple. So I just sent you a photo of someone we just spoke about.
Hey, I know who that is. Hold on. Let me download it and then send it.
So he walked in and I got a chance to spend like 5 minutes and we asked, because people used to remember he had the swing that was killer, Milwaukee. Yes. And then I asked him, he said twice he had trades proposed to be a Giant. And he says, I'll never play at that ballpark. It's the shit.
Oh, get out of here, man.
Yep.
Bum.
And he goes,
now
but
he's a bum.
if they would have had that ballpark you guys have now, then I would have played. He just wasn't a big fan of Candlestick.
Got it. I understand.
So the photos of Gary Sheffield. So he was actually one of our guests. We had him and Doug Flutie and Alonzo Mourning, but Gary could not have been nicer. Signed balls, took photos, and people forget he played for like 7 teams, but still had that swing where you see a guy swing the bat hard. Every one of his swings was like he wanted to hit it 500 miles.
100%. That guy was all or nothing right there. Let's see. Is this it right here? Yeah, this is it right here. Oh, that's a great photo, man. And you said this is at the Masters, right?
Yeah, this was the Masters April. So 6 months
there
ago.
You go. Right in the middle. That's awesome. And there's Lou. All right.
Yeah, nice. There I am.
That's awesome, man. That's freaking cool.
That's my team. Well, some of the guys that
nice.
work for us. Yeah.
Cool.
And that's our little facility that we do for the Masters. So we're there.
Man, and I'm guessing that's it in the back there, huh?
Yeah, that's the TV showing them practicing.
Gotcha.
So he showed up on Wednesday. So they just had the part 3, but that's a facility we entertain about 350 people there. So
nice.
It's good. I mean,
wow.
I had Greg Kinnear there, who's an actor who I went
to
school with at U of A.
Yeah, right.
And then every once in a while we get some guys like Doug Flutie walked in with Urban Meyer. Like, do you guys have and I'm stopping him. Hey, do you have a parking pass? Do you have that? And he goes, dude, Doug Flutie. I go, yeah, Doug, we used you in Super Bowl. Don't you remember we hung out? But these guys, they're just there having fun. And Urban Meyer, even though he had a horrible career coaching Jacksonville, was still one of the best college coaches of all time. Right. And now he works on the Big Fox Weekend. But, it's still pretty cool because the Masters is such that level. You see, guys of like that. So
exactly. All right. I'm going to get to this last super chat and then we're going to close it down. $2 from Fuji says, which AL team would be most tough for the Dodgers?
It's a good question.
Man, Lou, I don't even know, man.
I mean, do you think you need a pitching team like Seattle or do you need offense?
You need offense, right? Honestly, because the way that the Dodgers are pitching, oh my gosh.
And Dodger Stadium to me seems like if it's warm and it's not windy, the ball flies out of there.
It does. So, and they got the
how great would it be? They would make it USA against Canada. You know what I mean? We sort of going to get spoiled because you have that, or you can have an all West Coast.
Or it's either all West
Pacific
Coast,
Northwest, and LA. But I think, East Coast, West Coast, the Mighties against the, and Toronto, guys. Toronto is sort of like, even though they won it, people forget they won it. But it's right now, it's an all-out frenzy in Toronto.
Yeah, it is.
It's sort of like how when the Giants were in the playoffs, you can barely hear yourself. Everyone's there. And I really like what Toronto does is they also have what a couple of hockey teams do is they have people outside that watch it. So I don't know if you've ever seen that. They have sort of like how we have Chase Center and we have our own little area. The Giants don't do it, but they do that in Toronto outside the Rogers Center. So they have a thing with a huge screen TV that like 10,000 people cheer at. They do it at every event. So, it'll be great. Plus, LA and Toronto, just, you have two great teams and that's all you want. And, hopefully you have 5 or 6. Yeah,
exactly. All right, guys. Hey, what's on, Lou? Thanks for hanging out for a little while.
Yeah, glad I could help. Sorry, Glenn's under the weather.
Hey,
so tomorrow we have 2 again, guys. 2. The first game is in Seattle. I believe it's the 308 again. And then 508 for the Dodgers go for the clinch. What do you think, Eric? Who do you like in both games tomorrow?
The Mariners or the Brewers don't even have a pitcher named. I think it. Yeah. And you got Shohei going. I got a feeling the Dodgers.
Okay.
Dodgers are going to sweep. And tomorrow,
what about Toronto, Seattle?
Oh,
there's just so much momentum with Toronto.
Gosman's good, and what's his name? Miller isn't. He had a great outing in Toronto, but I don't know how he's going to do. And I don't know how he's going. We'll see. I got a feeling Toronto's on a roll right now, so I wouldn't surprise me if Toronto wins it tomorrow.
It's hard to stop the machine.
It is. It is. All right, let's get the heck out of here. Guys, enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Do it all over again, guys. Be good. Again, thanks, Lou.
Always.
Woo!
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.